Don't even think we have an intro anymore. Just gonna. Oh, I accidentally left the thing up.
Hello, ladies and
There we go.
gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode.
It's me and loads of goblins. I know what I need to do. I need to have another version of our logo in the middle for that. Or an intro page. I haven't done an intro for this show yet. Or did I? No, I didn't. But that's alright. I'll sort that out another day. But welcome everyone to the final word. It's been an interesting week in nerd culture or pop culture, depending on which side of the argument you lie on. Oh, and I don't want to even get into a thing about Latin. I've spent all afternoon looking at Latin.
Normal Latin.
Why?
Oh, okay. This is like a hot button topic for some people, and I'm not, but I'm literally talking about the words themselves, not the actual subject, right?
Ah.
So, the expression "cis" means is talking about being one side of something. It was quite often used in geographic things to describe like this side of the Alps. That's not the same. People keep saying it means same. It doesn't mean same. It means this side of or near to. That's not the same. That's not saying the same. That's implying there's a position in between that you can be on one side of or the other. That there's a middle ground. When what they're referring to doesn't have a middle ground. In that sense. It doesn't work. It's just incorrect use. But
words, people. Look up words. Jesus Christ.
Well, no, they keep trying to pretend like they're like sort of like, oh yes, yeah. But if you look up the word, it means it's the Latin for this, and it's
it's the same as that guy yesterday we were talking about, where it was like calling people that were doing their job Karens, and I went, no, in this situation, mate, you are the Karen. Learn what Karen means.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people using words and not actually knowing what they mean. It's kind of embarrassing.
Well, as I said, it's not a subject I was particularly planning on bringing up. It's just something I was looking at this afternoon. Might bring it up next week when I've got the things queued up.
It's something that crawled up his Hueca.
But first story I heard about this week popped up. When was it? Might have been over the weekend. Might have been Monday. Was the one I had on screen when we started. And I almost called her Millie Bobby Brown, but it's like, no, she has hair. It's Millie Gibson, who apparently has been branded a diva.
May I just say, brilliant picture, because I thought when you lowered that, it was going to have her boobs. Yeah. I literally thought she was going to have her boobs out in that picture.
Being branded a diva after being annoyed about night shoots.
Yeah, that's not a diva. That's complaining that you're having problems staying awake. If you made someone do something about it, that makes you a diva. Look up the word diva, people. Again, you learn your words.
And also being annoyed. What's so wrong about being annoyed?
Mate, if you made me stay on set until like 2 o'clock in the morning,
Look, yeah, being annoyed. I'm trying to think of the best way to
I
put
believe
this.
being a diva is I'm not going on stage unless I have a bowl of just pink M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly. Being a diva is
But
being
they only
over
sell the
dramatic.
pink M&Ms at Christmas. I don't care. It's June. I don't care. Go find me pink M&Ms.
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's being a That's being a diva.
See, I've got a theory about this
No,
one.
sorry, but being slightly annoyed isn't that bad. It's when you make something of it that's a problem. Like, being annoyed could mean anything from just not being a bit grumbly here and there.
Yeah. And I
Like
think
just
in
I'm
the
not happy
context of
about
the
it.
article, they literally asked,
No,
have you had
no,
any
they didn't
problems
ask you
on
to play
set? And it
Forest
was
Sounds.
literally,
Why are you playing Forest
yes.
Sounds? Stop.
because there's a lot of, obviously, we're going to get a lot
Okay,
of
I've
night
got to mute you
episodes
from
of
there
Doctor
because
Who.
you keep doing crazy stuff, Google.
That's what it means. It just means we're going to get a lot of night episodes of Doctor Who, and she might look a little tired.
Right.
That's how they did her in. 3 little words. Doesn't she look tired?
Oh, there we go.
But this is the same thing as when they attacked Julie for going, oh, when we finish filming season 2, I'm going to do some stage performing. Of course you are. You're going to have 6 months of not doing shit. Of course you're going to go do something else.
Oh no, you can only
Yes.
commit to one role.
Yeah.
How could you have a life outside of that and try and expand your repertoire?
Especially as he's going to do stage acting, which means his performance is going to be deeper and better.
Plus, some people just want to change what they're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people get stuck in a character for a while and are just like, I've been playing this character quite a lot, like obviously not just on screen, off screen for a long time. I need a break from that a bit before I get too stuck into it. Like I just need a fresh start.
Well, the thing
In
is, he's
fact,
going to be.
being away for a little while means they can come back to the other role, maybe, a bit fresher, meaning that their performance will be better.
Well, the thing is, by the time that he's finished season 2, that means they're going to be 2 years ahead in filming. Of course, he's going to take go do something while they're waiting to.
Well, he's not going to just sit on his arse and do
No.
nothing for like 2 years, is he?
Now I'm gonna go play some Fortnite or something.
Well, I guess I'll go gamble.
Could be worse. I'm gonna go to Vegas and pick up some hookers. Get in the papers that way. I mean, bloody hell.
Oh god. So they over exaggerated and made it out that she's a diva because they asked her a question and she answered the question and gave an answer they did, that they were going to twist.
They gave an answer they could twist.
Yeah, exactly. They just gave it an answer.
Shortly after, I believe they said she was quitting, and they made out like she was being fired and stuff. And it's like, no, she's done her year. She obviously was going to only do a year. Leave her alone.
To me, this sounds like is this the right article? I'm not sure. Is this the right article? We still talking about Millie, aren't we? Oh, sorry.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I was going to say you've given us a black screen,
that
right?
they were pulling on Henry Cavill. A rumor.
Which is hilarious because now that he's doing, was it 40K, isn't he? And they love that idea.
We're reporting on a rumor. Henry Cavill apparently was sexist and
but you know the best thing. You know the stupid thing about rumors is, for those who don't, who are paying attention, rumors can be false.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's an annoying thing.
Very wrong.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's almost like it's clickbait.
Yeah.
Rumors, by the way, for people, were what clickbait was before clickbait was called clickbait.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to use the word clickbait? I don't know if that's a derogatory term.
I don't know.
What, to clicks or bait? Is someone going to be triggered by that?
No, to idiots that do clickbait.
Ah,
Like these
Well-
titles that we see constantly of.
What you mean, like
Well,
what
well,
Kotaku
Disney-
do, because it's the only thing they can do is do clickbaity articles because no one else will click on their things. Hence why there's Twitter channels Twitter pages literally called "Saved You a Click."
I was like,
that
"You did."
and
now I've got to reference your shit.
the rumor being this as well. The claims paint Henry Cavill in an incredibly dark light, suggesting the actor pushed against the female showrunner in hopes of steering the storyline in a better mirror the novels.
I like they say that it saves you a click. Not everyone has a hawk who will check your references. It's not saving us a click. I've got to open like 6 pages just to check what you're saying is even remotely true, which it probably isn't.
How is that sexism? If
It
you are
isn't. If you're
trying to do your job.
Look, here's the thing. One of the things that audiences really clamour for, and this is especially true for anyone who sat through the Resident Evil movies, especially, is that a lot of people want authenticity, like as close as you can get to the original.
Well, yeah.
And when someone actually when someone decides to not do the whole, oh, I'm going to have our own take that doesn't even resemble the original product, and actually decides, oh, I'm going to try and stay as close to the original work so it can be translated properly to this medium. I don't see why that's a problem.
Velma creators were talking directly to you.
Oh no, that was a self-insert. That had
nothing to do with Scooby-Doo.
Oh, it didn't. No. My understanding of the Velma situation was, apart from it just being a self-insert version of the character, was that they pitched the show as something else, and the way that the people who own Scooby-Doo is that they don't want new original IPs. They just want an excuse to use the ones they already have, and it just gets twisted. Similar to how the Hellraiser movies are made these days.
Hold on. Pull it back. You're going off towards Velma and Hellraiser.
Wait, that's a crossover I'd watch.
What, trying to solve the mystery? Oh, geez, Scoob, I don't want to solve this box. And then, they solve the box and all the music comes on, and then Doug Bradley turns up and like, zoinks, that guy's got pins in his head, Scoob.
Okay, it's just a mask, though. Is it fuck?
Okay,
that one's
getting back to where I was going with this tangent towards Henry Cavill. They said he was a diva.
Isn't there a name?
He's trying to make, from the sound of things, he's trying to make it as close to what it's originally going to be. It was originally meant to be.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like a diva. That's him trying to go, hey, it might be better if we don't change it too much, so we don't get as much backlash from But
what I'm saying
fans.
is they're tarring Millie with that brush, saying that she's a diva, in the same way as a year ago they were saying that Henry Cavill was a diva.
So buzzwords.
I need a list of these demands.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing anything diva-ish though.
No.
I'm not seeing. It just sounds like massive exaggerations.
That's where I was going with that. It's literally
the whole.
How much?
Ask for anything you want. Well, I'd like some human decency. Oh my God! Why won't you stop? Why did you ask for too much?
How much of this is, actually her doing something, or how much is this? It's just them calling her a diva because she, might have potentially commented about working at night.
It's because she's not conforming. She's not conforming.
The thing is, she's young, right? And
so she should just knuckle down.
And she's done a lot of daytime stuff. Maybe working at night was difficult for her to fit into that.
It is a big thing. It is a big change.
But the thing is, it doesn't stop other people jumping on it. Millie Gibson going to the Mail again. She's made her feelings clear. Freaking adverts.
Yes, but Hawk. She's not conforming. She's not just being a good little, a good little team player, and she's making it difficult for other people.
The question
She's
is,
having
what could she
individuality,
have
and
said?
she can't have individuality.
I
Despite
don't think
throwing
she could have
herself into
said
the project,
anything that
Millie's
wouldn't
attitude about filming times reportedly hasn't gone down well.
I don't think she could have said anything that wouldn't have got twisted into a
Oh
prank.
yeah, of course. Well, what are her choices? She either says, "Oh yes, I am very happy about this. I have no complaints at all."
No one could question her commitment, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of
And the-
pressure on
You
her.
just doing so.
and then it's just one little thing. Like it's not like she's made this is a constant thing where it's she's always complaining about working at night, or she's refusing work, or she's got this very long list of demands to do one scene a day. That's going ridiculous. That's going over the top. Just saying, well, I'm not a fan of the night thing. That could mean anything. Like you said, it could literally just be a transition from what she did before and now having to work at nights.
I bet you that was an answer to a direct question as well. Like, how are you finding the shift changes? And she says, "Oh, I'm finding it difficult." I bet you that's all it was.
It
Yeah,
sounded
probably.
like they've just been messing up. She's determined to get it right, but the days are long, and at times when night filming has been suggested, she has made her feelings clear. Right, I have limited knowledge of television filming, but most movie filming, there is a shoot schedule, which you would get in advance. So you would know when night filming would be happening. You wouldn't just be called in for night filming randomly. And the idea that they would just be night filming suggestions, it sounds more like they've had overrun, and they need to finish something. And so it's like, oh, can you stay late? And someone has basically called the papers and gone like, she complained about staying late at work. Who doesn't?
Yeah,
I should be
I
on
used to do
this.
that all the time.
If
I
anything, it makes
complain
it
about having to stay
If anything,
late
it
at
makes it
work.
relatable.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. If anything, it just makes it relatable.
My personal favorite is like, can you stay an extra hour? I finish in 5 minutes. How long have you known about this? About 2 hours. Why didn't you come to me 2 hours ago?
Yeah, instead of like now, right now. I'm scrolling down fast because Xmart's getting very excited about Millie's legs
Obviously,
and the rest of Millie. Damn boy.
Stand right now.
Oh, hello, Tweety Bird.
Take your cold energy drink. And
You mean you
place it
wouldn't
slightly
complain?
between
Not
your
you would
legs.
complain.
I would complain. She's not sitting on my face.
Yeah, and this bit's just the history of her.
Actually, no, I will complain. She's not old enough for me.
But as far as we know, even if she is leaving, because that's the other rumor, it wouldn't be until next year anyway.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, she's not the first companion who has left after a season.
No.
Even in New Who, we've had 5 companions leave after a season. That's the majority of them.
Or less, because you can have part-time companions. Like, for example, in the first season, you had Mickey, who was only in quite like a handful of episodes.
He was only in like 4 episodes, wasn't he?
And then you had Captain Jack Harkness, who was in a few, like 4 or 5. He was in it from the Doctor Dances. Well, that was when he started as a companion through till.
You heard it hit first. The Doctor does dance.
Parting of the Ways. No, was it Parting of the Ways? Second part of the finale. I think it was Parting of the Waves.
Sorry, I glazed over a little bit when you said parting off. I was thinking about meaning it. It wasn't
still.
the Waves, though.
There we go. No, there was another bit that you brought up, Trigger. This is one you've brought to me several times this week. Masters. Oh, and I'm giving one more for that.
I love to talk. You need to tell. You need to make me make a list.
Sorry?
I've been busy this week. I've done Hell of a Boss. I've done He-Man. I've done cyber stalking. I've done a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that to me yesterday.
I've had theoretical talks with school parents. You know, are we talking about the or the porcelain doll theory?
Well, sorry?
Like the porcelain doll theory, we covered that earlier. You're gonna have to be more specific on I brought this up.
No, I was thinking, was that the Master Universe one?
The Master of the Universe one, it sort of falls into the same category of the judging things based on what a creator or showrunner has said.
Oh yeah, that.
Because the Master of the Universe thing, there is a huge misconception in what the first part of the two series he's put out is. The first part of that, where it's Teela based, is literally setting up the mythology of the world and the new sorceress. Which, yeah, but He-Man's not in it for 3 episodes of 12. And it confused the living snot out of me to think, oh, it's all about Teela. Yeah, but He-Man's back in it in a prominent role after the third episode. Well, fourth episode, because the first episode he's in, and then he's dead, and then he's back again.
Yeah, then it's Savage. See, it's then it's Savage He-Man.
He-Man was amazing. I love the idea that his body's become so used to the power that he actually can call upon it without a focus. That was a very interesting take on it, and I appreciated that because
They did spend a lot of time when he did appear. They did make it clear that he was unique, even in regards to the other heroes, because like he was the only one in that version of Heaven that didn't have his power form or anything.
Yeah, that's saying because he never took the knowledge that he was He-Man. He was always Adam. He-Man was a thing.
He-Man was always an alter ego. It was just another him.
But he was always Adam.
Like a persona.
Yeah. And I think Kevin Smith has done an excellent job now. I've seen both of these. And I'm actually excited for the third one because it's the cyber versus magic in season 2 was a very interesting take on it. And I liked that. Because technology is a prominent part of He-Man. There's a lot of tech in it, but it just gets covered over quite easily. And it's like you'll get people going, "Oh, what about the sex change for Man of War?" And I went, "That's because the king basically threw him out in season 1, and he appointed a new Man of War. He comes back in season 2 as no Man at Arms. Sorry, he comes back in season 2 under the new title of Man of War, and he's now in charge of the Man of War." And I was like, "You need to watch this properly, people, because it's like you obviously haven't understood the gravitas, and if you think it's woke, you've missed the point that the story is trying to tell, because it's not all about He-Man. It's about the other characters involved. You've got a cast of 20, 30 people now. It can't all be He-Man saves the day. This isn't the 80s anymore. It can't be one man saves the day because you complain about the one man saving the day. But that's me ranting. So anyone want to jump in?
No. I think you made a good point. That it was always called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Well, the new version isn't even called He-Man. Isn't featured in that title. And so, all in all, it's a very satisfying. I think they could have actually gone a bit longer on season 2. because it feels like they cut it down because of the bad reception the first one got.
I mean, do I have to like step in and silence the complainers with this one? You know, just to get as much out of this clip as possible. The original was
and the Masters of the Universe.
This is not.
I love that
this is
there's
Masters of the Universe.
It's called Master of the Universe, but it's all about He-Man. Then you're missing the point. I'm sorry, you're missing the point. Because this isn't a story about He-Man, it's a story about their world. He-Man. And the thing is, it's like the graphics are great in this. The story is in depth. It's got meat to it. There's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't know about Eternia. They even have the guy from the film, and I would say this is on par with the film in how much attention I had, because they've got the guy from the film upping the power of the sword so it can broadcast.
Yeah, I'm giving them some woke sins for that.
They literally mix the with technology with the sword so it can battle the technology the Skeletor's using. And I was like, that's genius, because the person you went to was, what's it called, with the cosmic key? I can never remember his name.
Wildor,
thank you. And I was like, that's a great, because we haven't seen him in animated. That's a brilliant use of a character that we would never have seen again. To make him the like D&D artificer of the world, and go that you're the only one who can probably deal with cosmic power to this degree in technology form. Anyway, and even he goes, yeah, I have no idea if I'm going to blow up the galaxy or this is going to work. In his charming, what's it called, voice. It's like, oh, give that boy a plate of ribs. He deserves it. Anyone got that reference? Please pop a I got that reference in the chat, please. It means we know you've seen the film. I mean, the interaction with Evelyn and Beastmaster, for example, was amazingly rare. I think that back and forth was brilliant. You know, they flushed out Evelyn with the backstory and the history, and I was like, I now actually feel bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, she did still destroy heaven, but you know.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, by that point,
I mean, I like the whole thing with
Orko.
I mean, I like the thing with Orko.
That's the thing. Orko comes across really well in this, because it's like, you know, when he comes back, he just kicks everyone's ass, and then it's like in the second season, he's still as good, and it's like, I didn't think I'd like you, but apparently you're now one of my favorites.
Well, I liked his whole thing with Evelyn, and it, you know, granted, yeah, he died and whatnot at that one point, but
sorry, I just had to grab something from Grayskull.
Was it a giant sword?
No, I don't have a giant scorpion.
Was it a because it's the thing as well, the different staffs of the three main magics apparently give the sorceress sexy new outfits, because Tila uses the serpent staff from the snake magic thing, and I was like, are we going Conan on this? Because I'm sure that's the same guy from Conan. And she literally gets this like sexy green skin snake goth outfit, and I went, I think I prefer this, Tila. Can we keep this, Tila, please?
You can't say no to some snake skin. Can't deny that.
I know. I was like, if Hawk could find a picture of it, it's amazing. All the goth fantasies.
Can I find a picture of what?
It's Tila in the I can't remember what this in the snake sorceress mode.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Sorry, I was grabbing something else. A sec. Hold on. Give me a second. There he is. That's what I was grabbing. Hee.
Dude, you're still on the board game camp.
It's my little Gwildor
Oh yeah.
with the cosmic
See,
key.
I think he's a very underestimated character. He comes across very well in this season.
Because of course I've got
Well,
an
I'll tell
action
you
figure of Gwildor. You know, why wouldn't I?
Well, now I've got reasons to keep Netflix around. I suppose I'll give it a watch. Again, I haven't really had chance to watch a lot of anything with like the storm that happened on Monday, so
But
I
I,
just-
I literally binge watched a whole lot today, and I went, "This is a coherent." I mean, what was it? That would have been 12 plus 6 episodes, so what? Almost 20 episodes I watched today, and I went, "This is a cohesive, very well put together product." What the fuck are people complaining about? In this day and age, you don't get this kind of level of good. You're lucky you haven't got
look, I
Teen
get there's a whole
Titans.
thing on Kevin Smith, but yeah, blaming him for just deciding to use the hate you have for him for product and preemptively hating it
Yeah.
I think it's just they're looking for any excuse to not like it.
And the funny thing is, as I said, He-Man's not in 3 episodes. So when he said, no, this isn't about Tila, it's about Eternia, which is what literally his words that he used in that interview, it's 100% true.
You know what? You know what's ironic? People complain these days. Like one of my mates against another product is that there's literally no world building after they're being promised, loads of world building, and it's been 6 years and there's none. Like, and to see people complaining when there is world building.
Do you know what I'm going to compare this to? I'm going to compare it to the hate that Halo got.
Okay, I'm lost on Halo. So, what you mean the TV series?
The TV series, because they tried to flush out the games with like background and lore and stuff, and everyone hated it. And it's like now season 2's coming out. I feel like this is going. It's like, right. So we're going to start getting to the game point of this. Are you still going to be hating on it? Because this is what you.
Well,
wanted.
the only stuff I'd heard about the TV series that people hated was that the people who wrote it said they'd never actually played or even looked at Halo at all. They just wanted to make something else.
Well, the funny thing is, they covered like the Katana stuff, like the Katana stuff. And
Again, I'm in no
stuff
place to
before that.
condition. I'm in no position to say anything because the only bit of Halo I've ever played is the first one when it first came out on the Xbox. I've not played anything else since.
The thing
I
is,
know
I'm in exactly the same place you are because I
I
know nothing
vaguely,
about
I
Halo, and
vaguely know what the Flood is and why it's a bad idea if they infect a Spartan.
literally, I'm
That's
the
it.
same thing as you are. And do you know where I got most of my information from that covered more than I knew about it? Literally,
I'll take the
200% more than I
TV.
knew.
I'll take the TV show for 200, Bob.
Yeah, because the games don't explain shit.
Well, again, a lot of the stuff I've seen of Halo in some way, when someone tries to explain it, is they say, "Oh, well, the novels to explain this, or something else explains this, or DLC multiplayer stuff explains this."
Hawk, what does CinemaSins think about the books?
Hold on, is this the thing you were talking about?
I say the CinemaSins think the books don't matter, so we can't reference the books.
I'm trying to find this Tila armor thing. I mean, I just keep finding classic references to Tila wearing snake armor.
Because
like
the only thing they
Classics
brought up
line
from
and original line where she would have snake armor.
Alright, so
I
imagine
can't seem
this.
to find a source that says this is a new thing. It seems to have been around since 1982.
Imagine this, but with like an Evelyn sex goth feel.
Sort of like that.
Why must you say sex goth?
Because I like the word. No, well, again, similar. I wonder if I can find it
Yeah, this seems to be a thing. That she had snake armor.
Yeah, as I said, it's
I
the
think if
scepter
you
of
were
Ka.
such a Apex fan that you'd kind of know that. The
Because there's
original
three
toy had it.
there's
I always thought it looked
there's
terrible.
three sources of magic in the world. There's the falcon, the eagle, the car, and the stuff that Skeletor's got.
Well, hold on. Which ones did you just say?
So there's the
Havoc
sorceress
staff.
that has the falcon. There's the snake, and there's the ram, which is the Havoc staff that Skeletor
Snake
has.
staff, Havoc staff, shaping staff.
And the shaping stuff, that's it. Because I remember it because it's the magic of Ka. Because I kept thinking of, oh, sure, that's from Conan. For some reason, my brain kept going to Conan.
What's with Teela and snake-themed armor? Don't know. It's almost like she's a warrior goddess.
No, do you know the hilarious thing that no one mentioned is the reason why the story's about her at the beginning of season 1 is because she finds out that every fucker's been lying to her because she's the only one in the main group that didn't know. And I was like, yeah, I'd be pissed off as well, to tell you the truth.
I'm not sure. I don't know if Mossman knew. Although he's a sneak, he might have known.
No, Mossman dies in the first 10 minutes of the season 1.
Yeah, I know. I just meant in general, like in the original.
No, but I mean the core 5 people that like.
I mean, my question is, does this retcon New Adventures of He-Man?
I don't think so.
I mean, if it does, that's going to ruin my childhood.
I think this is set well past that.
No, it can't be set way past that because that's time travel. That's in the future.
It could be multiverse theory.
Yeah, it could be, but
even because your favourite
let's
character
take
gets
Gwildor
very
off.
good
Gwildor's
viewing
had
on
enough
this.
screen time. Bye bye, Gwildor.
They flush out
covering up the
Skeletor
work
really well in season 2. They flush out Skeletor's sort of backstory history thing, and even your favourite characters gets a lot of screen time with his vampiriness.
Oh, our favourite man, Hordak.
Wait, Hordak. Wait, I need to ask you a question. Why is there's a woman wearing Hordak's armor?
There's loads of people who wear Hordak's armor. It's just
no, but she turns up as the tease for season 3, and I don't know who she is, and it drove me mental because I was like, why are you wearing this helmet?
They turn up. That's just the Horde armor. That's just the standard Horde armor.
No, but I mean she's proper tweet.
Yeah,
it's not the big battle armor. It's tiny tweet armor. And I said, I'm having mixed feelings about this armor now.
Hold on, who is this character?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know because she turns up. You don't see her face. You see the mask. It's like a Hordak, proper face print mask, and she's wearing a female version of his armor, like what's the 40k version? The vampire guys, 40k. Why did you drink? That'll help. Yeah. Anyway. And you don't see who it is, and it can't be Evelyn or anything because they're doing something else. And I went, who the fuck are you? And what the fuck's going to happen now?
I got an idea. I know who it might be. I'm just looking at.
So I don't know that much about in deep lore or stuff, and I was like, okay. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the boob shot before the end of the season, but who is this person?
Yeah, I'm not having much luck with that.
No, that's it. It's going to be a very weird one.
But then again, I've not seen Revelations yet. I know, as I said, you see various Horde troopers wearing.
Yeah, because you see them. There's a lot of them in this. They are bulky fuckers. This
Yeah,
is like,
that's the Horde troopers.
because
When
they've been up-teched.
because I'm pretty sure when
she's got like a ninja
Aurora
assassin
was
thing
working
going
for the
around.
Horde, she wore a variant of the Horde armor.
It
At
might be.
times, I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, it's the evil Horde. That's why I was getting the weird results. I kept getting.
What did Martin think of the Halo series? Because he says he's an expert.
Was it a sorceress of some kind?
The thing is, she was going after the remnants of Motherboard in Snake Mountain, so she could be magical. That's the thing. They gave me nothing to go on, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?"
Oh, what is her name? I didn't watch.
Because I said Evil Lyn is
I
joining.
know who
joins
I
the
know who it
Guardians
is, but I
at the
can't
end.
think of the name.
Is it the Galactic Guardians? I want to say it's the Galactic Guardians. I can't remember their name. I need to move my goblin
No,
because
I
I
don't
can't
need the
see much happening.
2018 version. Oh, here we go. Members of the Horde. Shadow Weaver.
So that's a new name for me. I was like, who the fuck is this bitch?
Okay, this is the classic Shadow Weaver.
I said this show had so many like references and like little Easter eggs and stuff. Like I said, if you haven't seen the film, you'd have no idea, you know, on the cosmic stuff to the degree that I did. I mean, they had literally every single action figure that I've ever seen. Literally, was in this show in these 2 seasons. Yeah, no, it didn't look anything like that.
No, I meant that's the classic look Shadow Weaver, so they probably wouldn't have. They'd have probably said that wasn't very empowering, but that's a whole different problem.
That looks. No, I don't want to say what I was about to say. Then
Yeah, I know.
Bomb.
I literally thought that as well.
Essentially, if you took off that back bit, you'd get in trouble.
Yep.
So yeah, anyway, Orko was amazing, and they flushed out his character lovely.
I think that's why they might have changed it if it is Shadow Weaver.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, it makes sense though. I said they had they even had like really weird side characters that in the toy line were like stupid, like what was it, Pig Face and Goat Man, like turn up in the series. And I was like, those are really obscure models and references.
Well, the thing is, they've had a lot of interest in the really. I mean, you had that same love in season 1. I mean, you had cameos by like Wonder Bread He-Man.
Yeah, Wonder Bread He-Man was funny.
I mean, did you when they're in I mean, you might not even have recognised him. The guy in the black outfit in the when they're in heaven, or the sort of He-Man heaven area. There's a guy in like a black outfit with a W.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Wonder Bread He-Man.
As I was watching it, I was like looking out references as I was watching it. And I went,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, this is." And the thing is, that's the thing. I refuse to believe that this wasn't made and crafted with some level of love for the IP, because there's so much in it for fans. And I'm like, I'm sorry to say that the person, that Kevin didn't do a good job. You need to go look a hard look at yourself and go, like, you could do better. Because, as I said, the animation's on point, the voices are on point, the story is deep and chewy and meaty. And no offense, but as you've got it on the screen there, She-Ra. Do I need to say more? Did you see what they did to She-Ra? For shame. For shame, people who have judged a man's work before it's out. For shame.
Well, as I said earlier, there's a whole thing of people not being able to separate the art from the artist, and just having the preconceived notion of what the thing's going to be before it's come out.
So I said, I think it's a very sad day now that people are doing that as well, because it's like, can you not wait and see if you enjoy something before it comes out, before shitting on it from a great height? We were getting this with Doctor Who. They were shitting on the new Doctor before it even had an episode. Like, just go. I'm going to steal a line from a YouTuber. Have a cup of concrete and harden the fuck up. Because, damn. This is why you can't have nice things. Because every time someone tries to bring you something nice, you punch them in the face. But yeah, we should move on topics, because I will just keep ranting. I will tell people off for another hour.
I wasn't paying too much attention at the time to who I was listening to at the time when the He-Man show came out. Well, when Masters of the Universe Revelation came out. But like I said last stream, I found myself watching it. I found myself watching reviews of it. And then, as I watched it, I thought to myself, there was a moment where I literally thought, and as I said, I keep harking on about this. Hold on. The original show was
And the Masters of the Universe.
And this show is
Masters of the Universe.
Well, this leads back onto the first topic at hand. I think people are misusing the word woke.
Sorry?
I think people are misusing the word woke.
Well, yeah, people are always misusing the word woke.
Because
I misuse the word woke on this podcast.
How is covering the changing of the guards from a female character to another female character, which is going to take some story time. But if you're going to move forward, it's kind of something you might need to do. And as I don't think any of the stuff that he got slapped with might be, was deserved. Because literally everything he said, if you watch the show, turns out to be true. It's like, it's not Teela focused. It's not. She's a big part of it because the story revolves around the family dynamic of her being the daughter of the sorceress.
Well, yeah.
He-Man is in it. He-Man's a huge part of this.
Yeah, but it's not specifically his story. It's Teela's story. No. That's what it's about.
I said I'm confuzzled to bring a new word into the game on the amount of abuse he got for this, and I'm like, I feel bad for Kevin Smith because he has done a even take it the other way. He says, I didn't watch the original stuff. All right, so he didn't watch the original stuff. He's made an amazing product and he didn't watch the original stuff. Put the positive spin. You know, oh, I've never played football before and I scored 18 goals. Put the positive spin on it.
I'm going to fact check myself on this one.
Fact check. And the thing is, you can see is it literally upset him to the point where he was like crying and apologizing to the fans. I feel like this was bullying. Because all he wanted to do was make a good product. And I think he's put out a fucking good product. Now, Kevin, if you need people for your next film, yeah, any chance that you ever stumble across this podcast, need a small, petite, green goblin girl who's got the voice of a man, let me know. I'm surprised Hawk hasn't started putting points on the board for that fucking laugh yet.
There we go, I have now.
We need a new counter. So, Tom, you do that bloody goblin giggle. What's going on? Bloody board.
Now I'm just padding the sin count. Oh, has anyone noticed I've renamed it? The woke counter is now the woke sins counter.
The sins of the woke will be punished.
No, it's more misuse of the phrase or I don't know, 30 seconds of logos. Yeah, we'll misuse it in the exact same way as Cinema Sins.
Well, the thing is, I was like, do you know how many shows
In fact,
I've
I'm just
seen
sinned
that
myself for that one.
that people have said are woke, and I'm like, why is this woke? Because it's got a gay character in it.
Yeah, because we're satire. Wink.
Wink. Do you know, I think there should be a new rule. It's like she's not tall enough to be hot yet, because any girl that's under 3 foot probably shouldn't be sleeping with, because that might label something. Not to have a go at any shorties out there. If you're a shorty in the chat, send Hawk your pictures. We'll play hot smash.
What?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it this time.
Yeah, this is the one that I was trying to find, but it's like I can't find any evidence on it, so I'm not sure. I can't find any sources on this one without.
I will come back with pictures next week.
Because they're convinced that
I knew I should have clipped what I was watching.
They're convinced he said he didn't actually watch it or wasn't a fan of it, and then turned around and said he was.
Yeah, I bet you any money he never said who the fuck is He-Man. There's no offense. He's not a fucking idiot. You've just been put in charge of a project. Who's He-Man? That's like putting
Xmart, you're adding to the woke count because you asked what the woke count was.
So, it's like being put in charge of the Iron Man film and going, "Who's Iron Man? Get the fuck out! You're not doing this anymore. Go away." That's this. I hate. This is one of the things This is the clickbaity thing that sets me off the most. When you get this bullshit. And again, leans back to the why can't we get people that can give honest, impartial reviews on shit? There's loads of people out there, people. You could search them, you'll find them. Impartial, happy to watch anything reviews, and just give them their honest opinion on something.
There we go. I've got a nice picture of Iron Man for you.
That's War Machine.
I don't think he's very effective, though.
I don't know. He got the creases out of crime.
No, the problem is with all those deviations in the surface. I mean, I'm not sure how that's going to function as an iron.
Oh, no, I've got an iron that's got a divot in it like that. I'm more worried about, is that an Ethernet cable?
No, that's the power cable, but it's very, very short.
It looks like one of those screw-in fiber optic cables.
No, well, yeah,
I
it
used to
probably
have one
is.
for my cable box. It looks like a cable box prom adapter.
Yeah, it's sort of going from a power cable into a coax cable. I'm not sure if they have that in America or not, but apparently.
Ironing.
But that's a very short iron. You'd cause some problems.
Oh yeah,
ironing
no,
with
that's not long enough for shit.
Hmm.
What are you ironing? That's not even an arm's length, surely.
I mean, I do love the idea of like quoting
kill
thingy at this
yourself for
point and
that.
going like, Tony Stark built that in a cave with some scraps.
We're part of scratch. That girl in Wakanda Forever built it out of a car, an old car.
She turned a car into an iron. What?
She turned
Why?
a car into an Iron Man suit. What the hell are you talking about?
I will iron clothes, fold them neatly, and put them in piles.
Do 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 do.
Doing all the housework makes me smile.
I feel like Disney should bring these out. I think people would buy them because the
Just
mums
something.
want to be cool, and this would make mums cool. Can you imagine going around your mate's house and your mum's there doing the ironing, and she's got one of those? That makes your mum instantly cool if she's got an iron like that. They'd sell so many of those for Mother's Day.
They would. Look, I'm not one to talk. I would personally buy the Loch Ness.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a Marvel fan and you go to your potential girlfriend's and she's got an Iron Man iron, you need a ring on that finger, like that night. You need to mortgage the house for that one.
There's
Whatever.
there's been a sudden increase on like gamer girls and nerd girls being very attractive.
Ah, he's here. It's Ollie.
Should we be
everyone's
worried?
Favorite fan of Billy Mitchell.
I thought it was Nintendo.
And Nintendo in general.
Should we do a quick shout out to Nintendo for doing the right thing and not slapping Power World as hard as it could? And actually,
Well,
I thought they were trying, but they couldn't really do jack shit about it.
They've literally just went. We have not given. They literally just said that release a press release saying we have given no one permission to use our products, and they slapped down a mod. That's all they've done, and I'm so thankful that they haven't gone like hammer and tong on this person, because they'd be literally butchered by the general public going, oh, they're just punching down. They're just punching down. No, they haven't done anything. And I think that that's the right course of action here. Because I personally don't think Power World's going to stick. I don't think it's got the content It looks like a great game, and if you're having fun playing it, by all means, I'd probably have fun playing it. But it doesn't feel like it's going to last. The way the streamers are dragging on it, and the way that everyone's playing it, this might be one of those games that lasts a month, maybe 2. Because we've got a lot of good games next month, people. Just saying.
Well, I've got Persona 3 next week.
We got Final Fantasy at the end of the month.
Exactly.
I mean, if you don't think that all the streamers are going to be switching over to Final Fantasy on the 29th, you are sadly mistaken, my friends.
Ah, and they are welcome to it. As the only host of this show who is not a Final Fantasy fan.
See, I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan of the new stuff. I was what, 10, 8 or something when PlayStation released Final Fantasy 7, and it's always had a special place as one of my favorites. The other games went, But I remember like the first day where we found that in a like a software exchange, I think it was, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?" And we spent 20 minutes going, "Oh, you can summon stuff. So a Phoenix Down must somehow summon," and we literally used all these Phoenix Downs on a boss, and we went, "Somehow this will summon a Phoenix," and we're like, "Reading is fundamental, people." They didn't tell you that you could push the select button to find out what an item did. No, that is one of my favorite memories from childhood, because it was just like being stupid. But to be fair, we sat there, we opened this game up at my mate in the house, and he was playing it, and I was sitting there watching him, and we were sitting there eating KFC, and I was like, and this is like when KFC wasn't a thing. This is KFC first game. And I was like, this is amazing, what is this? And you look at it back now, and it's like, oh, this is a bad graphic game. But as I said, it's one of those games that's always going to have like a special place for me. So it's like
same. I had Final Fantasy 7 when I was in high school. I think I got it from a friend who wanted to borrow something I had, and I didn't have a memory card on my PS1. It was the game that taught me I needed a memory card.
See, I would stream Final Fantasy, but I realized that I would want to do all the content, and apparently all the content is over 100 hours. That's too many hours. I'd be streaming it till next Christmas.
Well, at this point, I'm just willing to see where it goes, considering that, the last one ended in such a way.
Well, the thing is, you think about it, it ended actually where the first disc ended in the original, and I was like, oh.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it ended.
The first disc ended in the City of the Ancients.
No, this one, this one's all about the Midgard stuff, and literally, they ended it with them leaving the city, because you pick up on disc 2 in the original. No, I mean the original, not the. And the what was it? Yeah, disc 2 you pick up in the backstory of Sephiroth at the reactor backstory, and it's like they actually in the remake they actually stay quite close to it, because you've left the city and that's the end of the game of game 1. And I was like,
wait,
this bodes well for the amount of shit we're going to get in game 2, because that means disc 3 is going to pick up. Let me think. Disc 3.
They're only doing 3 parts from what I've heard.
Which means we're going to get up until the City of the Ancients crater stuff. We should get up to, I thought.
Well, again, it's Tetsuya Nomura doing it, which is why it was so fucking over the top dramatic.
To be fair, I love the amount of dramaticness. They added so much to it.
I'm kind of mixed on it, because I did enjoy what they did, but I think I know that for the new one they've brought back one of the original directors to kind of clean up the mess that was made, because apparently Tetsuya Nomura did so much shit with the new one, with the original, he had to write an entire book just to just to explain a lot of the shit he did in the game, like why suddenly Jesse and all that are suddenly alive.
Mm.
And apparently his reason for doing what he did was, he just wanted it to have some positivity in the ending,
Yeah.
which is fair. I liked Intergrade because I
Yeah,
will
no.
honestly say I was curious as to how they would handle Yuffie and Vincent in general.
I think
Vincent,
Intergrade was the
Vincent's
perfect way of adding a
Vincent's one
DLC.
thing. Well, Vincent's one thing, but Yuffie was kind of always going to be a weird one because she was an optional character in the original game. There wasn't really much in terms of cutscenes and story agency, like other than if you went to Wutai.
Well, that's the thing.
Although I
they're
will just
trying
say
to
I did
trying
like
to
what they did, although bringing Deep Ground into it was kind of where I started rolling my eyes in general.
I think they're doing that so they flush out Vincent as well as they're flushing out Yuffie because
Deep Ground don't really have jack shit to do with Vincent outside of Dirge of Cerberus. Like they've been introduced way too early. Because the whole point, the whole thing was that they were around. They were clearly around because we know from Dirge of Cerberus and the stuff that came after 7 that they were a thing. It's just that now they're an active thing around the same time as Sephiroth is a thing. And also the way Sephiroth talks, there's been people theorize. Obviously, I think one of the good things that the remake did was it got people theorizing and talking. Because
think we might need to cut
the
this
thought
one,
process is that Aerith and Sephiroth are New Game Plus Aerith and Sephiroth. Like they are fully aware of what's going on.
Thought. It's such an interesting thought that someone can carry over knowledge to a New Game Plus.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is that Aerith and Sephiroth seem to know what's going to happen. Like they know what happened in the original timeline, or Aerith seems to be very, very aware of what's going to happen to her.
Yeah, the echo.
Like she's aware. Like they're all. I mean, they've not even left Midgar, and they have seen Meteor. They have seen Aerith's death, which has led some people to speculate that to throw a wrench into the works, either no one's going to die at all, or Tifa's going to die in the place of Aerith. Sorry, Sephiroth seems to be. He doesn't seem to be as antagonistic or weird, but then again, the common mistake I've noticed with Final Fantasy fans is they seem to think that the first disc of the game originally, like OG Final Fantasy, they seem to misunderstand that it isn't Sephiroth leading Cloud around. It's literally Jenova.
Yeah, it's the memory that Jenova's pushing.
There is a degree of debate as to whether or not Sephiroth is controlling Jenova or Jenova is controlling Sephiroth. I think it's the former. I think Sephiroth's will is so much more powerful than Jenova's that he is actually able to control her rather than her control him.
It's an interesting theory.
Well, the thing is that Jenova is, for all intents and purposes, for the people who didn't watch the tapes of Aerith's mother talking in the original, she explains what Jenova is. It's just a fucking parasite. It's a parasite that kills people by telekinetic... Oh, sorry, my phone just went off. Turn my phone down. Right. Basically, Jenova is a parasite that landed on the planet during the time when apparently everybody on the planet was an ancient. The way it kills people is that it telekinetically reads the minds of people and then takes the forms of their dead loved ones. Once it's lulled them into a sense of security, it then infects them and turns them into monsters, which is why the ancients don't exist anymore. Well, the Sectra don't exist anymore because some of them didn't want to do the journey and went and hid, and they somehow devolved into regular humans. The ancients stayed behind to fight Jenova. The planet itself created the weapons, but by the time the weapons were ready to kill Jenova, the ancients had basically wiped themselves out trying to take out Jenova and seal her away. But when Sephiroth gets hold of her, like the entire point of Sephiroth's existence was to clone Jenova because they thought Jenova was an ancient. Because she had taken the form of an ancient while she was at war with them. Somehow, though, Sephiroth seems to, Crisis Core does do a whole thing where it shows a bit more of Sephiroth's like delusion into madness. Like his whole slip into madness thing, because the original OG game just completely insane just from reading the papers and deciding he's a Cetra and everything, and it's his right to take the planet back.
Yeah.
But then
They skip over
later
the time
on,
lapse, don't they? Where it's like,
but
no,
you
this
see-
happened
but-
over a good period of time.
but then later on, Genova's taking the form of Sephiroth, which is fine, but she's not. Again, she's originally was driven by instinct to just infect people. She seems to be doing Sephiroth's bidding, which has always led me to believe that because Sephiroth became what Sephiroth did. If you remember Cloud's actual origin, Sephiroth fell into the Mako energy, which is the memory of everybody on the planet. The theory I've always had is that he fell in with Genova's head, and he somehow absorbed enough energy from the life stream to retain his own will. And somehow he's overpowered Genova enough, because he's not obsessed. Like, if you've seen Loz, Kadaj, and all that from Advent Children, they are obsessed with Genova in a really crazed way. Sephiroth seems to have maintained all of his will and seems to, make Genova do whatever he wants, which leads me to believe Sephiroth is, has his free will, and she's more under his control now.
Anyway,
Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent, but it's always been.
I think we need to skip the Final Fantasy thing before Hawk hangs himself.
Yeah, you have a point.
He's sitting there pretending to be a woodpecker. He's made a hole in the wall.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Point
I was getting something ready for future things.
My point is, I know they brought in that Square Enix felt that it kind of went a bit. The last one went kind of out there. So to keep it in line a bit, they brought the original director back for the second part, just to try and keep it a bit on the rails a bit more. But I love what they did with Yuffie, like actually making her,
Well, yeah, they made her like a character, because she wasn't.
Well, originally, Yuffie could be described in the original ad. She's obsessed with stealing materia for the sole purpose of rebuilding Wutai. That's about it, because she was alive. She was a child during the Wutai War, so she's watched it fall to ruin, which makes sense a bit. But again, it's not. It's optional, which means that you don't have to engage with it. Oh, and she's also got travel sickness. That's about all there is to her.
They did a great job into mixing the Wutai stuff into the first section of the game. I think.
I will say what I liked about the remake was that they made Avalanche feel bigger than it actually, feel like a bigger deal.
They made it feel like the Splinter Cell that it was. It was like,
well, that's the thing. They were eco terrorists, but they also were not around for. You had one mission with them at the beginning where okay, you get to know who they are. The second mission, you don't really, you don't have much interaction with them apart from the train when you get there, and then when you see them again after dealing with the whole Don Corneo and that whole chestnut, which by the way also loved War Market in the remake.
Oh, it was good.
Hand massage. Hand massage.
Yeah, that's what was going on there. Hand massages.
And don't forget the Honeybee Inn. I mean,
that was so good. I think they dodged many bullets.
The Honeybee Inn had no right to be as good as it was.
No. That dance sequence, I was like, it's a button bashing sequence, and I went, actually enjoyed that. Damn.
I mean, it was kind of, there's also the fact that the original, the remake also had like the whispers turn up to try and make the timeline go the way it's meant to go, and by the end they've basically, got rid of them now, so nothing is stopping it. And now the theories have come in that either they've basically broken the timeline, which means that.
Where did you get that picture of me?
Well, the theory I've seen people have is that once they got rid of the whispers, Aerith has now lost all her New Game Plus knowledge because the timeline has changed dramatically from what it's meant to be. Zack is somehow alive, which begs a lot of questions. And, well, Yuffie is a lot more involved right now.
I want to know whose decision was it to make Jessie so thirsty, because that was a good decision.
I've seen that. I've seen the artwork of her asking for something from Cloud for money. She's got like a really thirsty face and is going
Yeah.
through all
I was
her
like,
gill.
Whoever decided to make her that thirsty was a genius, because it put so much more into that character.
Well, again, Avalanche were not big characters, and the only other expansion they had as characters were Japan-only mobile games, which didn't really add much to them. So it was good to go. I enjoyed the fact they were like, "Hey, let's actually do something with these," and Jessie was definitely the standout.
Why did what's it called look like Matt and Sheena?
What, Biggs?
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of companies, when they make models these days, they do base them off real people. It's why the Resident Evil cast in
I
game.
went, wait a minute.
It's why the Resident Evil cast looks so dramatically different in every game, because they use actual celebrities as references.
Hulk, I've got a brilliant idea for your next clip. We just need a clip of Final Fantasy with men. Because seriously, just literally because Biggs looks so much like Mancini, just a clip from Final Fantasy with men. Because it does look so good. Which of course makes Wedge like the fat kid.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, they made Wedge cat obsessed.
Yeah, they flushed out like no-name characters that were in it for like.
Well, again, if they were going
minutes.
to do when you look at how long Midgar actually takes in the original, Midgar does not really have that much in the original. So basing an entire game around it, they might as well. I mean, they made War Market feel a lot better than it originally was, and made it feel like it was its own thing, like having its own ecosystem and, you know, hierarchy and stuff going on. They managed to actually make the Turks a bit of a threat.
Oh, the Turks actually feel like a proper government agency now.
I mean, there's also the fact that, you know, Cloud could have very easily killed Rude and Reno very early on, but the Whispers literally
if it was
stopped him
my
from doing it.
playthrough, I could have killed him in the church because I wrecked his
Well,
shit.
there's literally a scene where he's very close to killing Rude, and a Whisper literally just gets in his way to stop him, because it's trying to stop the timeline from. I mean, it even stops when Barrett is killed, and it makes it so Barrett doesn't die.
Anyway, let's Hawk. What do you got for us? Give us a topic.
Oh
Give
no,
us a
that was
topic.
that. I'm not even
And
sure
by-
what we
by
were
a
talking
topic,
about
I
before
don't mean that.
everyone diverted to FF7.
We were talking about the Pokemon Company actually being quite clever in holding their punches and not going after the little guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I can remove the actually now.
Because, as I said, I don't think this is. I think that they have. Literally, if you look at what's upcoming this month, people are going to be moving on.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, again, Persona 3 Reloaded is one of those games that people have wanted for a very long time.
I think we've got
And-
an MMO from Blue. Oh, what is it? Blue something. Oh, my brain. What is it? It's a fighting game. No, it's gone again. I am not on the ball. Yeah, there's an MMO coming out at the beginning of the month. And I think this is like the second of the month. There's a game set drop. Then
Yeah,
there's
there's
a game set
always-
drop in the middle of the month, and there's a game set drop at the end of the month. This is a difficult month to be staying on top.
Well, it's because all developers sort of know that FF7 is due out, so they're just not going to release anything. They
Anything
either
that
had
comes
to
close to
beat
this game,
the FF7 drop, and know that whatever happens, their market is going to just disappear when it happens.
Plus,
or
you
they
got to
had to
remember that
release
Final
it
Fantasy
a
VII is
month
an
or two
RP
later.
It's an RPG, and you know people are going to be playing it and then dissecting it for weeks.
Months.
What was it? The base
Yeah,
game
month.
so the base game alone is 48 hours, like just the story, and then with all of the side content and all of the explorables, it's over 100 hours of gameplay. I went, Jesus, that is a chunky game. You don't get a lot of games like that nowadays.
I mean, Ollie did mention FF7 remake is like watching someone play Operation Hooked Up to a Bomb at this point.
Yeah.
So far, he's managed not to blow everything up, but our collective eyes are glued to it in fear he will. I don't think Nomura is the guy for this job. All he had to do was remake the story of 7, and he decided to be and he just had to be fucking clever.
Yeah. Again, I feel like the flushing stuff out was fine. I'm not entirely sure he needed to add a lot of the stuff that he added. The flushing out, I was fine with, and I was like, because you get to that second part of that game and you go, what the fuck is going on?
Well, they're out of Midgar now, so the thing is, they've got rid of the whispers. They've basically given a load of hints. Deep Ground is suddenly a thing if you've played Intergrade on the PS5. So basically, they've got this open box, and at this point, anything can happen.
Mate, do you know how long I was waiting for my PS5 just so I could play Intergrade?
I had the annoying thing of buying Final Fantasy VII pre-owned on the PS5, then not being able to actually do jack shit to get the Intergrade DLC, and then just having to put in the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake and upgrading it to the PS5 version just to get Intergrade.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I completed like Final Fantasy many minutes before I got Intergrade. I was like, stupid scalpers, I want my PS5, stop buying them to sell them at stupid prices. Then my missus went, I found a one that's at normal price. Buy it now. She went, okay, but it's the disc version. You said you didn't want the disc version. Buy it. I don't care. Buy it. It could be covered in chocolate for all I care. Buy it. I've been in lockdown and I haven't had anything to play. Buy it.
Well, the remake came to me from game because I ordered it during lockdown, and well, I got it along with the remake of 3, and quite frankly, 7 was the only good thing that came from that.
Well, Ollie's reaction is fleshing out is great. Writing yourself a license to do whatever Tetsuya Kingdom Hearts Nomura wants is a sandbox with a landmine.
I think it's going to. And that's not
Well,
just
I'll tell you what. Much as like what you said with your He-Man, with your Masters of the Universe thing, we're going to buy it anyway regardless. We'll see how it is,
regardless.
and give it a couple of months. We'll probably come back to it in a couple of months after maybe a few playthroughs, everything else, and we've had time to digest it, and then we'll suddenly decide whether Tetsuya Nomura has gone completely apeshit. Although I will again say that they've brought the original director of Final Fantasy VII back to try and keep it under some control, because I don't think Square Enix
down.
It's basically because Square Enix are aware of how batshit he made the remake in terms of how off the rails it got. And again, the fact that he had to write a bunch of shit, like 100-page dossier effectively, to explain why he did what he did and clear up all the loose ends that he created, I think was why when they went, fuck it, we've got to bring in someone to keep him under control because we can't let him Kingdom Hearts this shit.
Which, to be fair, is very true.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts is so fucking off the rails, it's ridiculous.
I'd love it if that was. Do you know, it's such a that I like Kingdom Hearts, but I just wish I could follow it. I was
yeah,
like,
that's
Disney,
I've
make
seen
a film,
enough.
Disney. so I
I've
can
seen
follow this.
I've seen enough guides telling you how to play it, which way to do it, and saying it's not complicated. It's not complicated. It's a lot of stuff to remember. That's all that's the only thing with it is people talk about it as if Kingdom Hearts is just so confusing and so deep and also it's not. Kingdom Hearts is not confusing. It's not deep. It's not smart. It's not this really you've got to be really, really, really intelligent to follow it. It's just a lot of shit to remember.
Yeah.
And a lot of it does come across like he's just making it up as he goes along. Like, I only expected this to go for one game, and now I've got all these plans and I don't know what to do with them.
Ollie definitely seems to just, well, either way, I'm here for it. I'm just bracing for impact. It'll be fun regardless, but I'm anticipating a lot of fan rage. I've played and seen everything Kingdom Hearts. Following it is unnecessary. And it's not
How does he
especially
know what
deep,
my
it's
wife
just
says?
convoluted as all hell.
How does he know what my wife says in bed?
See, me, never played it. Didn't care. Didn't
Now,
have a
to be honest,
PlayStation.
Today I've picked up the new Leica because, well, I was always going to.
Now, to completely change the subject, I found a very interesting anime.
Actually, no. Didn't have a PlayStation, wasn't a big Disney fan, so just didn't care. Still don't. But I have a PlayStation. Can we move on from Final Fantasy now, says Xmart.
Yes, anyway, I found a very interesting anime. It's called Hokkaido Girls Are Adorable. And the very interesting thing about this is they voiced the main love interest girl.
What's the
Canadian.
name again?
Huh? I'll link it to you.
So I can look it up and put an image with this.
Bear me 2 seconds, I'll throw it in the chat.
Like a Dragon, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Tekken 8 coming out in the same month.
Tekken. I avoided Tekken 8 purely because I know that released version, and I only really wanted to play it for one story element, and they spoiled that a day before it came out, so not much point.
It is a busy month, people, for games. Is all I'm saying.
Yes.
So yeah, I've linked it in the chat for you. It's the weirdest romance anime I've watched. I watched the first episode because it came up on my feed, and I went, "Oh, that's weird and very interesting." So if you're into romance animes, I've thrown it in the chat for you, Hawk, if you've got it. Not in the chat, in the Discord chat.
Yeah, I'm just finding a picture that I can put up.
Yeah, good luck with that. No, so the basic concept is this guy from Tokyo goes to live in the mountains, and there's the gals who are obsessed with Tokyo basically starts coming on to him because she thinks he's like a big Tokyo sort of top boy, but he's actually like the nerd that didn't go out, didn't have any friends, didn't have any things. And it's so cute because they've done Hokkaido is the mountain of Tokyo and Japan area. So this girl's got to speak like Canadian accent. And I was like, oh my God, how are you getting away with this? And it's just the cutest fucking thing I've ever heard because she's got the Canadian reflections and stuff. And I was like, this is funny because it's funny. That one's a bit risque. But yeah,
Right.
very fun show.
I mean, I'm only going off the pictures, and the pictures tell you nothing.
So yeah, so this girl basically finds out he's from Tokyo and becomes obsessed with him because he's obviously from the big city sort of thing. But he is the quintessential nerd of I've never gone anywhere, I never go out with anyone, and she thinks he's like top man Tokyo, and he's actually gamer weeb nerd, and it's just funny.
Okay. So,
In episode
Um,
3, he meets the second of the Gal girls, who has which isn't a problem in the mountain air usually, but she sweats a lot when she's inside, and so she's like stupidly quiet around people because she's embarrassed. And he stumbles into finding her wiping sweat off herself after a ski trip, and he's like, and she's literally just goes, well, you're the new kid, so no one's going to believe anything you say anyway. And she opens up to him, and she starts forming this gal harem, and it's just like, I saw that and went, this is going to be horribly funny when they find out that he's an actual loose. But yeah, it's very sweet. It's very light-hearted, and there's a lot of the average fan service, shall we say?
it just looks a little. I don't know.
It looks racier than it is. I will tell you that.
It's as I said, it's looking a little fan servicey.
Well,
from the pictures.
in the first couple of minutes of him meeting her, she sneezes and she's got all the snot in her hand, and he's like, "Thank you, God, for that image," because it just looks like she's got something else all over her hands, and it's like that's
I
like
mean,
the
tears.
worst thing. Yeah, tears. Yeah, and he's just like, because her face is like covered in this like translucent, slimy snot, and he's like, "Thank you, God, for that image." And it's like there's like a couple of jokes where it's like her favorite drink is this this like probiotic like creamy custardy thing, and she gets it all over her. As it is that kind of like fan service. It's not by nearly the worst stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
'Cause
I've seen some pretty bad.
There's
fan
was it
servicey
the
stuff.
worst? I think the worst culprit of it is the end of episode 1. He goes around her house, and she gets all this milk covered over her, and she gets changed into her pajamas, and she leans forward to put a cassette in the VCR, and you get the ass shot, and it's like
Oh,
you didn't show anything. It's literally like
Yeah.
pajama shorts, and you're like, but there's enough there for
Yeah,
the
it's
dirty,
enough
thirsty
to-
people. But as I said, it's very tame when it comes to it's more seductive in its portrayal of stuff. It's more, we're going to leave it to your imagination what this is, but you know what this is. This is one of my favorite bits is it episode 2. She shows him that the kids make these little igloo houses by the side of the road where the snowplows pushed all the snow up.
No, Ollie, he's not talking about that. He's talking about tears.
No, I was talking about snot.
Yeah, and snot. Looking like tears.
Yeah, so she
we
pulls
don't
him in
allow
to show
smut on our
these,
channel.
showing the tiny little igloos these kids make out of the snowdrifts. She pulls him in, and obviously it's built for a small child, so he's like literally laying on top of her, and he's like making all these weird noises. He pops out, and his grand's standing there, and she pops out, and she goes, "What was your first time? You know, it's going to be quick." And then she goes, "Who's this old lady?" And it's like, "That's my gran." And she goes, "Oh, push." And I was like, that's a classic problem in these sort of animes. because now that old lady thinks you're a whore. So if anyone's into that into the romance genre, it's very misleading that it's not what it appears to be, and it's very. I found it very heartwarming, more than sexual. So, because I know you had a big thing for was it Delicious in the Dungeon?
Oh yeah. I love Delicious in the Dungeon.
I must admit, I've just had episode 4 drop. I've got to watch that.
I mean, it took me obviously due to real life circumstances, I had to wait to watch episode 3, but it was worth it.
I'd actually go so far as to say Delicious in the Dungeon's actually probably more. I don't know how to word it. More suggestive-esque, shall we say?
I mean, food porn wise, certainly.
Well,
See,
to be fair,
Xmart
if
is
you can-
definitely suggesting everyone just watch Solo
girls
Leveling
sleeping.
instead.
Are we sure we're gonna watch some girls sleeping with tentacles?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Xmart's taste.
No, it was definitely snot. It came out of her nose. I saw the sneeze.
That was just Ollie's comment. He doesn't.
I
get
know. I
the
popped
whole,
onto your chat so I
those
could
are
read it.
tears.
'Cause I've got a thing in mind. Tears. I thought that was the worst cover-up in anime history, wasn't it? It's like,
It was a
damn these
joke in a.
tears.
It was a joke in a behind the scenes.
Damn these tears.
It was the localizers commentary of End of Ava. Because they were talking about how in their dub they added a couple of like splat sounds, and when they were talking to someone they said, oh, that's gross, and they were like, no, those are tears, he was upset.
Why is it as soon as you mentioned End of Ava, all in my head is do.
Yeah, I think I was getting that during the Final Fantasy discussion.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're slamming your head against a wall like a woodpecker. It's like, no.
It's like, there's so many good games out this month. None of them I'm interested in whatsoever.
No, but to be fair, I think that Power World might have problems. I think we're going to see the thousands of streamers drop considerably, and without the streamers and the conspiracy theorists, I think this game might have problems.
So you think it's just going to be like once the drama's died down?
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of people were watching the Thunderstorm. It's Nintendo are going to do something. They're not.
Oh no, they will.
They will, but when they're ready.
They will. What you have to remember is this. Okay, this is an opening salvo. This is we intend to investigate, which basically means is they will take it to a blind test and go like to people who are not anything to do with Pokemon whatsoever, and they will show them probably pictures and things and go like, which one is Pokemon?
Yeah. The problem is it does not pass the squint test, and that's a thing in the lore front. And if streamers can't, keep slipping up saying Pokemon, the generalized public that don't know anything about Pokemon, they're gonna fucking slip up.
It's because they haven't gathered. It's what I was saying. Is they haven't gathered the evidence yet.
No. I stand fully behind them that they haven't done.
But as I said, they're waiting to see. It's pretty clear what they're doing. They're going to wait to see. Well, they're going to get evidence, as much evidence as they can, because I reckon Power World is probably going to be ready for this, or have their own kind of. They'll have something to sort
Well,
of.
I know they asked the retired person who used to do Nintendo's law department, and he went, Power World? Oh yeah, it looks like one of the 100 things I used to get across my desk every day.
Yeah.
In copyright infringement, and I went, well, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's basically we're going to go after you eventually. Once we've got enough evidence, then the cease and desist will arrive.
Yeah. I saw a YouTuber who said if they were clever, they would take the money that they've earned so far, find someone to redo all the models, and swap them out so they were clear. And I was like, that would be a very good point to do. That would be very clever to suddenly just change them out. Anything that could possibly be mistaken, just change it out. Go, oh no, it was a beta placeholder. This is what this one actually looks like, and skirt the issue safely. They would be geniuses if they did it. I don't think they will.
Because to me, this statement just it's this next bit. We will intend to investigate and take appropriate measures.
I think this is very cleverly written
to address any acts that infringe on our intellectual property rights. Okay.
This is a very well crafted declaration of war without saying we're coming for you. I think this is very cleverly written.
And it's also this bit. We will cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon and its world. Every Pokemon and its world. That, I think, is the most clever part.
Yeah.
Because they will probably say something along the lines of the world portrayed in Power World, which can be mistaken for the Pokemon world, is a world of slavery, is a world of violence, and a world
they've done so well.
A world of violence and a world of slavery. And if people are seeing our very positive world in that light, it is damaging to our intellectual property.
I said they've done such a good job of avoiding being the dicks in this scenario.
Which is rare for Nintendo.
It's very rare for Nintendo, but they've done such a good job of going, no, we could be the overpowering power lords and be a dick about this, but let's not. And you're like, oh, okay. Because they would have got so much, they would have been riddled with hate and bullets and all sorts. But the general public are doing it for them, and they don't need to. And you're like,
well, the public are basically providing them with the evidence.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious as well. It's like you've got people just going at it, and you're like, it's very difficult to dodge all this, mate. Considering you literally in an interview said that all your art assets and rigging stuff was done by a 17-year-old boy who's studying his final exams for school. Not saying he did, but feel like he may have copied some assets and used AI, because God help me if I had that much on my plate and I was working a part-time job as well.
Yeah, but that's just an assumption. That's
why I said I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying I could understand if someone did.
I agree with Ollie with this when he says when the hammer comes down, it's coming down hard. Yeah, because as I said, they will probably pick up a video of every big name YouTuber out there who refers to pals as Pokemon.
Which is every single video I've seen so far. And I've seen a lot of these videos.
And they will say, why is everyone calling this Pokemon?
I want to know how Ollie's got recordings from my room. Because these are all things I say to my wife.
It's because he's actually very sinister, but you can't say anything about that because,
I go,
That's
baby,
problematic.
when this hammer's coming down, it's
Ding.
coming down hard.
Ding.
Ding! Ding!
I haven't got any crisps, so I can't do the you padding the sync count, bro. Because it seems like you're padding the sync count.
The big problem with Pokemon is Misty wasn't old enough to be hot yet. Luckily, they covered that in the set when she came back in like the later games, and she was old enough to be hot.
You did get a sin for that, just in case you didn't know.
There's a grass type on the field. Let's play ball. And by that I mean some sort of Pokemon ball game, not what you're thinking.
And really, I haven't got the camera on.
Again, things I say in my bedroom. How do you people know this?
Okay, I have got one for that.
Weird.
Weird.
You're gonna look like a freak.
It's okay, we can hear it.
That's not the shake way. Remember, Hulk doesn't
The
believe in
squeaking
lube.
of the chair. Hold on, give me a sec.
They ask you to go back to Millie. If you're going to do it, at least put the picture of Millie back up.
Trigger, you should really learn how to turn off OBS.
What the fuck's an OBS?
Oh, X-Bar! You get a sin for that.
Look, I'm a goblin streaming from a cave with a bunch of scraps.
Yeah.
Okay. Shrink myself down, put myself over myself. Giggity.
Oh, that sounded dirty.
Ding.
Phrasing. Oh, I've got it all over my glasses. It's in my hands, on my glasses. It's on my cleavage.
Does everyone seem to
That
love the
sounds even
shape?
worse. It's like the cheek thing when you go. Always turns into degeneracy. The filth. The filth. God, mine's really frisky tonight, isn't he? Let's go straight in with the masturbation.
Yeah.
It's because we started with Millie. We shouldn't have done that. We pushed the Millie button. Shouldn't have done that.
I'm not doing that again.
I'm just thinking of those Omni-Man videos on YouTube where he's got a weird sexual fetish and he's just like over the top with it, and no one wants to deal with it.
No one wants to deal with Omni-Band's shit.
Yeah, his obsession with insects in general.
It's like, oh, she was nice to me. I had to bang it. Did you know?
No.
Did you? You've not been here that long. You didn't have to bang it. I was trying to create a universe with Spider-Man.
Bugs, Mark.
It's got
They're
extra
trying to
arms, Mark. Extra
They're trying to
arms.
They're trying to take my hentai, Mark. Remember those games I bought you? All of those bug poke.
I love that it's the same voice actor. That's not see it every time.
I just love the idea that JJ will just blame Spider-Man for anything, regardless of how small it is.
Mm. It's
Spider-Man
weird.
wants to kill your grandma. What?
Mexican immigrants. Spider-Man.
There's
Erectile
one where
dysfunction.
Peter Parker just literally calls out JJ for constantly coming up with everything he possibly can. Like, I'm sorry I can't come into work, Mr. Jameson. It's my grandma's funeral. Next headline: Spider-Man kills grandma. How can you stand for this? I can't. Oh, so you have some morals? No, I literally can't. I live, eat, sleep, and shit here, Peter. Have you ever seen me fucking stand up? I mean,
Jameson probably hates
hell,
Spider-Man
I've
more
been
than
here
the villains
I've been here
do.
for 30 years, and my wife respects that. In fact, here she is calling me right now.
To be fair, he is Spider-Man's like biggest problem in that world. The villains, not so much. Jay, on the other hand, oh god.
The villains,
How was
you
it,
can send to jail.
JJ?
J. Jonah
So how was it,
Jameson
JJ?
just riding
Next,
his ass the
next
whole
headline.
day.
Spider-Man ends 30-year relationship.
Man, I'm surprised
She's
Spider-Man
also
didn't get
taking the
blamed
kids.
for the snap. Sure, that's as a J. Jonah Jameson. You know, Spider-Man caused the snap. I don't know how he nuked half the population of the planet, but he did.
And himself. He nuked himself to escape
No,
justice.
he didn't nuke himself. He's just in hiding. We haven't seen him.
See, I've not seen recent ones, so I don't know. Does JJ have the same sort of problem with Miles?
Not so much, but he just doesn't like Spider-Man in general.
What about Gwen? Yeah, is
Mate,
it just
he's
a
got a pillow.
sexism
I
thing?
think he's got.
He
I
just
think he's
doesn't
got
like
a pillow of Gwen.
Yeah, he
He's
just
got a
doesn't
love
like
pillow of Gwen.
male Spider-Men. Yeah. Should have muted myself then. He's not really in Spider-Verse. No, I'm just curious in case there is a point where he is.
See, you say you should have muted yourself, but you know, Martin loved the glugging noise. Glug, 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 glug. Oh no, it's all over my chin.
Yeah, that's when I have it like queued up for when I make a really good point about something and
Oh no, I've got it all down and I'm all wet.
give myself a victory cheese sandwich.
Victory cheese sandwich.
You padding the sun cap, bro? Because you seem like you're padding the sun cap.
No, what you should do is you should go like full Wiltshire weave and just get a jar of pickled onions so you can hear the crunch.
Jar of pickled onions for that.
Oh, I've got a ploughman's lunch here. It's pickled onions and a block of cheese. And a piece
The
of bread, but
Paddington
not
Camp,
any
bro.
bread. This bread's been out for days. It's rock hard.
Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. Just need a clean take me eating a cheese sandwich and going like, you padding the sin camp, bro? Because it seems like you're padding the sin camp.
He's, to be fair, Birdman's just done a compilation of the last like 2 years of sins. I've got to watch that video because it's going to be so funny on how many times he says the exact same thing.
Well, I've done it twice now, so you know. The comedy's in doing it 3 times.
Yes.
That's why Total Recall's so funny, because everything's funnier in 3s.
Talk about total recall. It's one of those. It's one of those people strap in. Well, I had my device changed and they put the new one in. I've now got a climbing lump just above one of my breasts. And I went, oh, I've got 3 breasts, but not in the cool total recall way. I've got 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Can they not put it in the middle? I'd have my costume for next year. It's waiting for everyone in the chat. Go, yeah, but what are those boobs of paper mache? I don't know, paper mache, I don't care. Three biddy for the press. Hawk is going to town on that cheese sandwich.
Sorry.
He's going to town on that cheese sandwich.
I forgot that when I added the other camera, it probably added another audio source.
Now, everyone in the chat, remember, there's a down it button. There's a down
I'm
it
not
button.
downing a cheese sandwich. I can't down a cheese sandwich. It doesn't work. It's also very dry bread.
I'll give it a
I'll
whole
down
cheese
the drink
sandwich in
afterwards.
In the case that you do choke on a cheese sandwich, who do we contact?
I think Sam has died.
No, I'm here.
He seems to be so confused by my cheese sandwich eating.
He's thinking, oh, I could go for a cheese sandwich, but I'd have to toast mine. Probably get some soup, tomato.
Well, have you got anything planned for Burns night? Or is that already gone?
Oh yeah, that whole thing. Not really. I think Liz is making one of her soups.
See, I like doing a haggis for Burns night. I'm not Scottish, but my missus loves it. We go the whole hog. I put on one of her school uniform cosplay outfits. Sharp with horror. Go here, love. Look at that.
Well, it's one of those things that
Need you to check my potatoes for blight.
I'm
Your
not sure
nips
how
and
you would-
ties.
Sorry.
That's alright. We were just fucking.
Sorry, Sam. I thought you were saying something.
He was just responding to my potato testicle joke.
Yeah, nips and tatties.
It worse. Could be the Irish with the cabbage and hash.
Oh lordy.
I like a bit of cabbage and hash. I had a lot of parents in stitches this week because I literally, my little boy came out and he was just running around and falling over himself, and I went, "Would you stand still, you small drunk Irishman?" And these parents were just wetting themselves. I went, "Apparently, I'm practicing my Twitch humor. Let's go into this." And I literally was there doing stand up for about 20 minutes. I was referring to my little boy as a leprechaun because he came out like super hyper but tired, bouncing around but falling over. And now I've angered the Irish. But Hawk hasn't told me I can't be horrible to the Irish. He moans at me for the Chinese stuff and the Asian stuff. He hasn't moaned at me yet about the Chinese, the Irish or the Scottish.
Sorry, I completely missed that.
I said you've moaned at me for the Asian stuff, but you haven't moaned at me yet for the Scottish or the Irish. And if you
I mean,
don't like,
I've heard much worse Scottish. To be
if
honest,
you don't like it, I'll deep fry your kebab. Because apparently that's a threat.
Or is it?
Is it a threat? Is it promise? Is it a kink?
Is it a promise? Is it a
how the
threat?
hell?
I think it's got to be very difficult to batter a kebab because it's just going to float away. They've got to like put something like a stick.
I'm guessing they'll just let it float in the fat for a bit and then they'll just like fish it out.
I assume you'd have to
Yeah.
like suture it up with like cocktail sticks before you did it, so all the meat didn't float out.
No, you get those like cage things.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, that's what that's what I mean by fishing them out. They'll just like
Oh.
have them float in the batter for a bit and fish them out. Fun
they
thing
just
though, if you ask
submerge
for
it while it's in the
if you ask for a battered sausage and chips in Scotland, they'll give you 2.
I got kicked out of my local fish and chip shop for asking her to give me a battered sausage.
Did you flash a dick to them?
Well, yeah.
Well, then there you go.
It's all right. I had my child there. He was doing it.
Oh no. It's going the same way as last week when you started on about that weird stuff.
Well, at least I'm not bringing out much weird stuff today.
Still getting
been
a
very
sin count
slow
for
on the
that and
news.
another one for the sausage.
Yeah.
It's very slow news that week, I tell you. Although me and Hawk did participate in the Australian freeing of the prisoners.
Yeah, we did participate in the Australia Day celebration preparation yesterday.
Oh lordy.
That was fun watching Aussie going mental when he was reading that.
Although you did forget one thing.
Hmm?
Did you check his Discord properly?
I haven't checked his Discord properly.
Did you know that you can actually there is a section for putting your streams in?
Why am I doing that?
You didn't look for that straight away. Oh, you amateur!
I was
amateur.
so tired last night. I went
Sorry
to
about the
bed.
accent. It crept northward.
It could be worse, man. It could go to Jamaica.
I can't remember which one of my accents always ends up creeping Jamaican. I'm not sure.
My Scottish always creeps Jamaican. No idea why.
I think it's about Scottish that always ends up going a little bit more towards Ireland.
Yeah, that's.
You should be proud of your accent, don't you know?
I'm a bit like trying to think of his name. James McAvoy in X-Men First Class when his accent sort of is skating all around the UK.
The problem is the UK's got so many.
Yeah,
So you
that was
need to
my problem.
Pick a
Yeah,
pick a section and stick there.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He kept sort of. He started off in one area and then sort of darted around between scenes. It was probably the most confusing part about that film. I mean, I absolutely love that film. Granted, it would have been a better plot if it was Mr. Sinister. But still, that seems to be a theme in the X-Men movies. We keep doing Mr. Sinister plots, but putting other people in charge of them.
It's a sad state of affair. You'd have been a really good big bad for the for new X-Men. Just make Sinister the big bad for X-Men for a while because he had loads of storylines. Oh. What else have we've watched recently?
Well, was
Has
there?
been
Has everyone is sort of can't, well, not really say. Well, everyone seems to have said what they wanted to say for this week.
as I said, it's been a very quiet week on the town.
It really has. I
front.
mean, the only real highlight is that gift I got from my friend that sadly only Hawk seems to remember. We're not counting Jack. We're not counting Jack, thinking he knows who it is because I'm convinced he just looked up the name of the show and then looked up the
Watch the
character.
opening
Yeah.
because her line in the opening is really clear because it like shows a jump sort of doing a thing. It goes Jenny.
Yeah, basically, my friend sent me. My friend's sister works in a store called Ollie's, and she sent me a little something, and it's like they've like made a bunch of figures of the characters from Bucky O'Hare. I have asked her if there's any. I have asked if there's any more. By the way, because you asked if there was like any of the other like crew members. She said she's going to get back to me on that, or I could just look it up myself. She says it's from a company called Boss Fight.
Yeah, I was just surprised that they had gone into subtypes of characters instead of, say, the Toad Air Marshal.
Yeah, well, I looked on the back of the box, and all it had was like 5 figures in it, and two of them are just variants.
Yeah, that's what I
Like
meant.
2
It's
versions
like,
of Bucky and 2 versions of Jenny.
Yeah, and I think there was one. It was the only other one.
There was the duck. There was
Deadeye
the duck.
and a
There was the
Toad.
Deadeye duck, and there was a Toad. I think.
Toad
I think.
Soldier.
Hold on. I remember.
It was a Storm Toad.
I was looking for them because if you look on eBay for the things, they want like 40 quid per figure, which is ridiculous. Yeah. She got it for like $8.
I had some of those, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, what they've done is they've got the figure. They've got like obviously they look better. They're better made figures. Obviously, like you can change the faces and stuff. I think that's one of the things you noted was that you could change Jenny's expressions.
I don't need to change her faceplate to change her expressions.
I know. You have your goblin ways.
Bring me the chains and the whips. And clean her before you bring her to me. Actually, no, don't clean her.
Oh, God.
Penguin!
Give me my sex shoes. Oh, God. Yeah, like eBay wants stupid money for like some of these things. Though I have found one website that has had a couple that's like called In Demand. Let's see, they've got on here they've got Bucky O'Hare Stealth Mission, Baboon Bruiser.
Oh, that wasn't on there.
Well, it's on here. It's here. Well, they've got the figure here. They've got Deadeye Duck, Mimi LaFleur.
Yeah, she definitely wasn't on the list.
Yeah. Well, they've got the figure here. They've got the figure here on In Demand Toys. They've got Astral Projection Jenny, First Mate Jenny, Storm Toad Trooper, the Aniverse version of the Storm Toad Trooper, and regular Bucky O'Hare. So there's not that many figures in the line. Like if there is a second line of them, there's not that many of them. I also don't know how old these figures are, so
I've got a very interesting closing question.
Go on.
It just popped to me as we were talking about Bucky O'Hare. If they redid Captain Planet now, how much would our woke counter go up?
I mean, you've got environmentalism, so that's one thing.
And then you've got all of the different races.
Oh yeah, you've got one of the most diverse casts. They'd have to. The villains would just be perfect because they just change it. You don't have to change that much about them. Just rich oil tycoons or politicians or something.
How much would it be that they put in Trump as one of the bad guys?
Obviously, because keep in mind, it's not been that long since every single creator for a long time was obsessed with making a villain that was based off of Trump in some capacity.
It's very true.
Like every villain for a long time was somehow based on Trump in some way, and they literally had no idea how subtlety worked.
Oh yeah, but we're gonna do subtlety. Here's your sledgehammer. Need you to go left. I was just thinking, it's like you'd never be able to remake that now. People would lose all types of shit.
I mean, of course, you'd have to ask Ted Turner since it was one of his things.
I was just thinking how much fire there'd be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a show that wouldn't. Well, it'd get a different look these days, especially with the villains. Like, they definitely have to have new villains or more up to date villains.
Do you think they'd be subtle about it, or do you think they'd sledgehammer you in the face?
No, of course it won't be subtle. They would definitely be based on real people. So, as you said, you'd have Trump, you'd probably have one based on Ben Shapiro or Joe Rogan.
As Hawk's showing us the models, I was like, come on, look at Jenny. She's a furry's wet dream.
Look, I do remember people saying, I have heard people say, yeah, Jenny was one of their first. It's there's always the furry's first crush, and they go with Lola Bunny most of the time. It's like, no, some of you people started way before that.
See,
Way before Lola was a thing.
I'm one of the people that are comfortable enough. Yeah, Lola Bunny was hot. I want to have sex with her. I can understand sex appeal and hotness. Don't mean I want to stick something in it. These are the people you really need to worry about. It's like they can't tell the difference between being sexy and wanting to stick your dick in it.
Yeah.
So I've got a really sexy blender, and then next week I'm at A&E.
Because I remember watching Bucky O'Hare as a kid. I just don't remember much of it.
I thought you were watching a different version, Bunny O'Hare. That's the porn version, right?
Probably.
It's just with all the Playboy bunnies in it.
Hugh Hefner sponsored that? Shit.
It's just Hugh Hefner with a load of bunny girls floating around the galaxy.
That's a very different version of Captain
And
Planet.
trying not, and yeah, and every so often they have to restart his heart because he's, too stimulated.
Although, what was it? Rick and Morty did a very interesting version of the Captain Planet.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a strange one.
So, can you stop having sex with the cosmic deity that's trying to save the planet, please? It's like, love, I know you're not into deforestation, but could you shave down there?
Oh, that's terrible. No.
Oh, that is just, yeah.
No, that's worth several.
It's worth several. Yeah.
Ding.
Bad. Cat. Get me the pointy stick.
Yes, they weren't. Yeah, like I got asked earlier on. What's the work sim count for? For whatever I feel like at the time.
Mostly the goblin.
Like
Mostly
I'll
the
even
Yeah,
sim my
most of the
chair
goblin.
squeaking too much. Like then and again. Because it's an arbitrary figure and it means nothing.
Isn't that where they keep birds? An arbitrary. Have we scared Matt enough yet?
I don't know. Xmar hasn't commented for a little while.
I don't know, maybe looking at Bucky O'Hare figures and discussing.
As soon as we started mentioning it, Rule 31 did it. 34 did it.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
last week. Remember last week we mentioned something, and then someone looked at it and well,
All for goblin. Yeah, let's look that up.
gabba gabba.
I know, I just accidentally searched you on Google without the safety sign. Just boobs! Oh no, scroll down. Oh, Bucky, that's not a safe place to put your carrot. That's not hygienic at all. How's she supposed to sit down like that?
Well, they are rabbits, Well, Jenny's a cat, I think, so
Yeah, Jenny's a
not
cat
sure how that's meant.
with
Yeah.
telekinesis.
That's literally abbreviated to cat.
Perfect.
Because she's another priestess Jenny.
What was up
Some
with
weird rune
that
soldier
era
sort of crossover.
What was up with that era making cats sexy? The cat woman.
Oh yeah, the cat girl phase.
Every cat had to be sexy. So you never owned a cat, surely, because they might look sexy, but they're not going to touch you because they think you're disgusting.
Oh yeah, cats are little assholes.
Cats, I think cats are, they're the bringers of the simp empire because cats are literally the thing that people simp for. Because you must always be here for me. You serve me. That they turn people into simps. It's like if I'm really nice to my cat, sometimes it shows me affection. You're a simp. You're a cat simp. Hawk's icon is going mentally flashing. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry?
I thought you were trying to talk because your green little outline on your image just get flashing.
Oh, is it picking up me typing? That's annoying.
It might have been. It was just I was like, is he trying to talk? Or are we having problems? It's just
I didn't realise he was picking me up. Sorry.
It's just disco lights around your image. I was like, do 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 do.
I honestly didn't notice it because I was typing something, and I don't tend to look at the green circle that much.
Do not stare directly at the green circle. Okay. Can't help but look at it now.
Because I was trying to get the ones on stream circular for a little while because your one was wonky. And I just thought this format was a little bit better. I don't know. How are people liking the new format? It's a bit more traditional. Oh, they like it that much.
Oh, you love it. It's gorgeous, baby.
Sorry?
It's gorgeous, baby. It's to die for.
Well, like I said, I think we've covered everything we're planning to tonight. So, unless there's
Yeah, it
anything
was just a
else-
really quiet week, really.
Yeah, it's been a quiet week.
Which is nice because that means there's not a load of horrible people saying a lot of horrible things.
Mm.
To be fair, though,
I
I
mean-
assume next week, now that that He-Man stuff happened, I'm pretty sure next week we'll be revisiting that topic and looking at some of the cannon fire.
Yeah. Yeah, next week will be when we get all the reviews landing. And it'll probably be the same as before. Oh, it's He-Man reduced to blah, blah, blah. It's She-Man, it's She-Ra, it's something, blah. You
The
know.
problem is, I said I watched it and I didn't see any of this shit. I'm sorry, people. I want to agree with you. I really do. I think
Oh, no,
it's
you don't
good.
want to agree with them. That's...
I don't want to agree with them, but I don't like to argue with people.
But I can bet our favourite hate shills are going to be on this over the weekend.
Oh,
You know,
God.
pumping out their content.
But I say, if you haven't seen it, go make your own decision. Because Jesus Christ, you people need to start thinking for yourselves.
Well, you know, they've created their own little troll community, and they got to keep feeding their trolls. Otherwise, their trolls will go somewhere else for food.
We'll find out where all these trolls are because all the blinkups will be sat going missing.
Well, one of them's with us on Tuesday night. Wink.
See, now I've got multiple problems with trying to figure out who that is.
No, I meant a certain person who got on her nerves quite heavily that night.
Again.
Or you might be thinking of someone else. I know who I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And the video I ended up watching after. I'm even less of a fan of Star Wars Legends than I used to be. Well, I can basically sum up anything from Old Republic onwards. Well, sort of, yeah, the Old Republic onwards when it comes to Sith empires. Sith appears. Sith has nasty powers. Sith decides to conquer the universe. Sith gets quite a distance into conquering the universe. Sith's apprentice or other Sith decide, oh, you're making too much gain in this. We could potentially win. We've got to fuck ourselves over. So they all turn on each other and lose. Rinse and repeat. Just add
So I
a
wanna
Dragon Ball Z style sort of power creep into it, and that's basically Star Wars.
I want to see if there's any comments about the Skeletor Evil Lyn dry humping scene.
Possibly. As I said, I've not seen it yet, so... And I'm giving
It's
myself a
very
sin
well-
count for my
It was a
rant.
very well done scene in season 1. She got all over that bony man.
More on that next week.
I wait for Hawk to watch it, not like it. Then we could have the back and forth debate. I went, no, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I don't think it's
So is
just
this
like
in-
hating it.
Star Wars extended material is rarely great in either canon. No, I'd say the Legends material was particularly bad because they, as I said, I swear they just got very, very lazy with the. I've got the ability to absorb all the life force from a planet. Oh, you can do that to a whole planet, but it takes you a whole ritual. Says person just a bit further, a couple of 10 years later. I can do that immediately.
How do you fight that?
Sorry?
How do you fight that?
You just don't. They just end up fighting each other, and that's what happens. Someone stabs them in the back at the moment where they could win. And it just makes the Sith seem like dumbasses. Just generation after generation of dumbasses. We have the power to destroy the universe. Oh wait, my apprentice is to slit my own throat just before we win, and so the enemy wins. I mean, it's literally like someone has decided the plot is we want to win the Olympics. We want to win the 100 meters. So what we'll do is we'll wait until they're doing the 100-meter Olympics, and then what they do is they then snipe their own runner out just as they're going to win.
Look, I'm not going to be happy until I get my talent movie. I'm just saying.
I was listening to a video about it, and they went into it, and it just the same pattern over and over and over.
Oh, wait
just
a minute.
with bigger scales each time.
My brain is just woken up. Did you know, Super Mario Sunshine's getting a sequel?
Oh.
Super Mario Sunshine had a sequel?
It's getting a sequel this year.
What?
Neat.
Super Mario Twilight.
Okay, I'm going to say that in that very... That sounded very Sonic. That sort of... neat.
I stumbled across this. It just popped up on one of my YouTube videos. It was like an advert for it, and I went, "Really?
Sure, that's not a weird crossover."
Not many people played that game. Surely it doesn't implement a sequel. And I went, "Nope, that is a sequel. That is Flood. That's Luigi in it. Okay, what the fuck am I watching?" And I was sitting there going, "I am got to stop licking that frog." It popped up on my thing. It's like, Nintendo, surely you've got other things you should be making.
Well, I think we should call things to an end now. We're starting to sort of ramble a bit.
Now, I started rambling in 1963.
20 years before I was born. Tricky.
Long talks.
With that much of a rambler.
Well, I'd like to thank my co-hosts. It's been fun. And we'll see you again next week. Good night.